Hello everyone, welcome to the Mish Entertainment Podcast. This time around we have me, making my triumphant return, DJ.
Matthew.
And Miki.
Oh, joy, isn't good to be back. Did I miss anything wild and exciting on the last couple podcasts I've been away from?
You missed barnacle dicks. I don't know if you're excited about that.
We did talk about those.
Boy howdy. Let me tell you, growing up on the East Coast and always going around the sea, there's nothing I like to think of more when I look at the beautiful ocean.
Then big floppy barnacle dicks. No,
big and floppy in comparison to the body, man. Let's just be clear, all right? I'm not a total pleb here, but moving on from that wonderful topic, I was at work the other day and I was thinking, what? Actually, I wasn't so much thinking. I was talking to a friend of mine about how she just recently bought Fallout 4. It was on sale on Steam. She bought a wicked gaming computer, and she came to the point in the game where there was quite a plot twist. And I thought, I wonder what everybody else would think would probably be one of the best, most creative plot twists in a video game, recent or not so recent, that they have experienced. Mine was in Fallout 4. Spoiler alert, Matt. But your son is taken from you in the beginning of the game. Miki, have you played Fallout 4?
No, I haven't.
Any interest in playing it?
Not particularly.
Okay, perfect. So it's not going to ruin it for you.
Nope, you're good.
But what happens is, your son, you're cryogenically frozen in a vault, and your whichever gender you take, your spouse is on the opposite side of the room from you, and your child is with them. Now, you're woken up at one point during your cryogenic freezing point, and your child is taken from you. Like, you see it through your cryogenic tube chamber thing, whatever words. And you see it play out how your spouse is killed, and then your child is taken. Then you are frozen back up again, you wake up, and then you have to try and figure out where your son Sean has gone to. Fast forward through a bunch of part of the games, but it turns out your son is in fact the leader of this big bad corporation or group of people that is quote unquote terrorizing the wastelands. So to me, that was quite a oh damn moment when that came up, and I thought, oh sweet Jesus, that Bethesda does a fantastic job writing, and I didn't see it coming at all. So talking to my friend Amanda, who Matt and I work with, that brought that to recent memory.
Yeah. I actually did get to that point in the game, but I don't know, maybe I'm just an asshole, but that didn't really surprise me. As soon as you went back to sleep, I'm like, okay, your son is going to show up again as a main NPC at some point.
I assume that he was going to come back as not as the 10 or 11-year-old child as what you thought, because your character said, I have to find my son Sean. He's just a little boy. He's just a young boy. And all that stuff.
He's a baby. He's not 10 years old. He's
literal infant. Fair enough. Yes. When you wake up, but it's the passage of time. Yeah. You think that your son is grown to be. You think you've only gone back to sleep for like 5 or 10 years, when in fact it was probably close to 50.
Yeah. Your son is now older than you, probably, depending on how you created your character.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
What was your...
For me, it was absolutely the first Bioshock. I don't know if either of you have played Bioshock.
Yes, I have.
I tried to several times.
I think it's one of the all-time classic great games. I think everyone should play it if they get the chance. But the twist in that game is you're hunting down somebody through the entire game, trying to kill them. And you have this voice. You never really see the guy, I don't think. It's been a long time since I played it. And he keeps asking you to do things.
I think you see video images of him.
Yeah, you probably do. Yeah. And every time he asks you to do something, it's not something you really think about. He says, would you kindly, and then asks you to do something. And when you finally meet Andrew Ryan, the main villain of the game, he allows you in, and then he starts saying, would you kindly do something? And you realize your character the entire time is a programmed sleeper cell agent that was made to kill Andrew Ryan. And every memory your character has is a false memory implanted in you beforehand, and then you were sent up into the plane, and it's insinuated that you caused the plane to crash right beside the lighthouse, so you could come down and then kill Andrew Ryan. So,
whoa.
Yeah.
So what's the whole would you kindly thing? That's your trigger?
It's your trigger. It's your trigger to make you suggestible. Like, Andrew Ryan makes you sit down, and then Andrew Ryan orders you to kill him the entire time saying,
What?
a man chooses, a slave obeys. So, yeah.
All right.
It's really badass. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry I spoiled that.
No, that is a hell of a way to end a game. Whoa.
Yeah. That's not the ending.
People listening can't really see because it's an audio podcast, but DJ and I are
very
just
shocked.
so shocked. Like,
yeah, I think it's possibly the best written game twist. I think it must be. It's the only one that really sticks out so clearly in my mind, and I haven't played it since it first came out, maybe a couple years after. But yeah. It was a total mindfuck playing the game. And you get to that point, you're like, oh, what the hell? But yeah.
all right. Yeah, okay, I have nothing to say anymore.
No,
I didn't really have
twist.
much
How about
to begin
those
with?
graphic or interactive novels? Any weird,
My
crazy
visual
twists
novels?
there?
Yeah, no, I can't say there is.
No,
well,
nothing?
no.
Come on, speak your heart. What do you got?
Well, I mean, there's this one visual novel which was recently it was turned into an anime a while ago. It's called Little Busters. So you start at school or whatever. You play as this guy and you have friends, you gain a group of friends as you play through, and you slowly become friends with one person, another person, another person, another person, and then after you become friends with everyone and you're good friends, then you go into this weird, not a world, like, space place. I don't know what to describe it as. And then one of your friends tells you that he created this world that you've been making friends in, and in the real world, you're still asleep, you're in the bus, it just crashed, because you were going on a field trip, and the bus crashed, and you have to wake up, and you have to use this other friend, and you have to save everybody. Because if you don't, they're all going to die.
What?
Yeah.
That's hella dark.
It is really dark, and it was really creepy because there was creepy music, dark photos with figures, and it was really, really stressful playing it through because, like, you started off as this shy person, and you had another friend that was really shy, and she had to make the friends too. Mm-hmm. And after you've made all of these friends and you go to this scene, you're like, oh my god, what do I do?
So
And if
do you have to, like, pick and choose who you're going to save? Is it one of those things where you get to know everybody?
You have to save everybody. If you make one wrong decision, it's game over. Everybody's dead.
Really?
So, yeah, and you don't know what decision is wrong until, like, 3 or 4 decisions later, so you have to save at every single question.
So is it kind of like The Walking Dead or the Telltale games where this decision you made way back in episode 1 is now going to drastically affect the game in episode 5?
Only once the bus scene starts.
Oh,
so
okay.
once you wake up in the bus and you need to save everybody, that's when that starts.
Okay.
But it goes on for like 45 minutes to an hour playing through if you do it the right way. So there's like 30 questions that you have to answer correctly, all in the right order.
I know there are many of them that are just simply yes or no, or I turn left or I turn right kind of thing, or is it something as simple as that?
No, it's like, what do I do first? Do I make a stretcher? Do I start pulling people out? Do I do this? Do I do that? And you have to pick the right one.
Well, what was the right one?
I don't remember. It's been a long time since
God,
I played
I don't
it.
want to be in a bus crash with you, Miki. Good Lord.
Sorry.
Oh, terrifying. Terrible.
I wouldn't live. Nobody would live if it were me.
I would just like to throw out an honorable mention that one of the earlier games that I played that had a twist ending or just a big plot twist in it that I never quite picked up on was Final Fantasy VII. Because I was too young when it came out. The whole fact of that, oh my god, this whole life that Cloud thinks he's lived or all these memories that he has aren't actually his. They're Zach's. And I know you never played.
I remember being told about this.
Okay, yeah, all right. So you never played it, but that's
No,
the thing.
I
It was
haven't played it.
It was quite the twist. It was quite the shock
Yeah,
and awe at the time.
it was like, I think it's the ending scene or something like that. He says the other guy's role and what his name is, but he's wrong. It's a different person or something.
Sephiroth on about it?
No.
Or was it Cloud?
No, it was
what am I
Cloud.
asking you for?
I don't
even know. I don't even know.
I've seen the scene on YouTube, but it's been a long time.
Actually, I've been playing this mobile game, this Final Fantasy mobile game that's been out for quite some time now, I believe. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. And what you can do, it's basically, it's just got its own storyline, but you can summon other characters from other Final Fantasy games, and to be in your party and stuff, right? And so far that you can do it from every Final Fantasy game except for Final Fantasy VII. So my girlfriend's brother and I were chatting on good old Xbox Live last night, and he was telling me to go through the game. He's like another one of my friends. It's you get him in a game or a gaming system or a mythos that he's really interested in, and he will just pour every ounce of his mental capacity to understand, break it down, learn it, and break it. The best example of that I can think of is my best friend. He when we first started playing D&D, he immediately he started off as a druid. That was his first character, and then he played a wizard, and that was the only class he's played since, because it is the most powerful class. And he saw that, and he's found ways around making things happen. And anyway, so he's just kind of a munchkin power gamer, not a metagamer, power gamer and whatnot. But I digress. Anyway, so my point, talking about Final Fantasy VII and tying it into the Brave Exvius game, is that you can't summon Final Fantasy VII characters. You just can't have them. Yeah. So what he suggested was that they're probably going to tie it to a release event surrounding Final Fantasy VII. And I don't know if you guys have followed it at all. I know Miki hasn't. But basically what they're going to do is they're going to release it in episodes, much like it was a 3 or 4 disc game on the original PlayStation, first of its kind, by the way, at the time. They're going to release it in episodes to see how much interest there is amongst the fan base. Because for them to rework it and redo it, I believe they're going to follow in the style of... It was a game on the PSP, but it's not your typical... It's more of a 3D runaround, beat-em-up almost type game. But you do still take turns. You still have your ability. You still have to wait for them to recharge and whatnot. But anyway, so they're going to release it in episodes now. So I feel as though that's probably going to tie into it, and then you'll be able to start getting your Final Fantasy VII characters, which is the most popular Final Fantasy out there, in my opinion, and I think several others will share it.
It's certainly up there. I'm sure. It doesn't help that particularly in recent years, Final Fantasy has taken a sharp downward spiral into not so great quality.
So have you played a bunch of the more recent ones? Because I played Final Fantasy X. I played a little bit of 10-2. Then when I couldn't play Blitzball, like actually control the Blitzball, which is just a mini game in Final Fantasy X.
I know what it is.
Oh, Blitzball is fantastic. Blitzball was I
He's
played.
Like in a water sphere, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. See, I know what's up.
All right, there you go.
I've actually watched some things.
Tidus or Titus?
Tidus.
Did you play Kingdom Hearts?
Nope. Well,
No.
I did.
Titus
but I
or
didn't.
Tidus?
I always said Titus.
So did I. All right, good. We're all right. Kingdom Hearts, they say Tidus. There's a young Waka, and he says, "Oh yeah, me and Tidus, we're gonna go play this game." And it's like, "Shut up, Waka, you're wrong. It's Titus." But because I played Final Fantasy X, a little bit of 10-2, and then I played the one with Lightning as the main character, which I believe was 13.
Yeah.
And that wasn't great.
Not good.
I had fun up until I didn't. So I totally cut you off. But what was the most recent Final Fantasy game you played?
I've played I think all of them except the multiplayer ones up till I haven't played 15, and I didn't play the sequels to 13 because 13 was not a good enough game to.
So many sequels too.
Yeah, they had 2 different games come out after 13, and it was not like maybe they fixed some of the things. I just didn't care.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah. I actually bought Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. I was in Toronto. Yeah. Just recently. Well, I say recently, but it was several months ago, and I bought Mass Effect Andromeda and Final Fantasy 15. I went to this, not an EB or like a big chain game store.
Yeah.
But they had it where there was basically everything. It was either buy one, get one free, or buy one, get one 50% off. And they had brand new Xbox One games, buy one, get one 50% off. And I thought, oh, sweet Jesus. So I bought Andromeda and Final Fantasy 15 for $80.
Wow.
That's a good deal.
Yeah.
That's crazy good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Even from the time that this is going to come out to when I actually bought it, it was still so close to being new, and they were both only $50. I mean, that for both games having come out within a year, that is fantastic.
Andromeda is a super new game.
Yeah, and like I said, they were both set up at 50. Well, I say 50, but they were $49.99. Yeah. But again, buy one get one 50 off. It was perfect.
Yeah, I've heard 15 is another good game. Like it's finally back to not just being My biggest problem with 13 was you could only control one character, and if that character died, it was game over. And it's an RPG based around having 3 characters. Occasionally, the character you're controlling is going to die. Giving you a game over for that is the dumbest game decision I've ever seen.
What kind of game over is it, though? Is it like a game over like you start a little while back, or is it like game over like
where you save last, you load your game.
Oh well, okay.
The point is that sometimes you'll be fighting a creature that can nearly one-shot one of your characters with another smaller character, and they'll both hit the one character that you're controlling.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and it in most RPGs, that means that character's down, and now you need to give them an item to get them back up, which you can still do with the other 2 characters, but because you're specifically using this character, that character dies, the battle's over.
Yeah, the whole thing about that is with the games where you only control one character is that you can have presets with your non-controlling character. So you set certain criteria. So like this, anytime a character drops below 50% hit points, they use this spell. Anytime they drop below or they knocked out, you use this item or this spell kind of. So you set all these preset conditions that will trigger certain actions. But if they gave you a round to recover from that kind of thing, then that wouldn't be so bad. Or just give you control of the other characters.
It happens in 12. The same thing. It's an active system, so you can't be constantly switching between characters. You don't want to pause the game and do everything that way. But in that game, if the character you're controlling dies, you just switch to another character. It just switches you to the perspective of another character. So they went backwards after 12, and they were just like, we're doing it this way for some reason.
For argument's sake, maybe people just didn't like that idea. Maybe they didn't like the fact that you were constantly switching between people.
Everything is exactly the same except when your character dies.
Well, I didn't play 12, Matt, so I'm just playing devil's advocate for the sake of
devil's
advocate.
Does it have like an option, like before a round starts to like choose what people do? Or is it like
I honestly can't remember. It's been so long since
I
played it.
Again, where you only control the one character. You control what your character's going to do, but the other 2, they
just do their own thing.
Again, you have preset conditions, and they basically follow that. From what I can recall, because it has been a very long time since I've played it as well.
I literally played it at release and then sold it back to EB Games probably. I don't remember where I bought it. Yeah. Because I don't sell games usually because at some point I'm going to want to replay it and it's going to cost me more to rebuy it than it would for me to than I get for selling it back.
I have that issue with one of my games. I bought it. It was like $30-$40 at the game store. It wasn't new, I don't think. But it was so disappointing. I thought, I was like, oh, I could resell it back. And I was like, no, I'm only going to get $2 because it wasn't a brand new game. And it obviously wasn't popular. But it was called El Shaddai. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
The guy that was telling me all of the like RPG games that were my options. He was like, yeah, this one's pretty good. You can play around. It's like it's not too hard. It's cool. It's got a nice story. Not what I was expecting. I was expecting like your typical RPG. You go around, you kill stuff, move on. There's some sort of story. It was great. This one, it was like, it was a biblical story for starters, which threw me off.
All right.
On an Xbox 360 game.
Yeah.
And you're in this weird world. They call it, I think it's supposed to be Earth. It's not. I have no idea what it is. There's like 3 colors.
Earth?
3. There's like 3 colors.
Is there a copyright on using Earth in a game? I don't like.
Like they say that like angels have fallen, and you assume like they. I don't know. Anyways, but you play around and you can choose your difficulty at the beginning. You can choose easy, medium, or hard, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Your first battle is as hard as your last battle.
What?
Yeah, it was. So when I was playing along, it starts teaching you different mechanics and different weapons, different things you can use to fight. And I was like, okay. So then immediately after you learn all of this, your first enemy is whatever, and then your last enemy, it's the same difficulty, it's just longer. It's just a longer battle.
Well, for certain games, I can certainly see how that is a thing, so to speak.
If it was a game that was all about the story, and it was like a casual game,
right,
and you only play it for the story, that would have been okay. The story was meh, at best.
All right.
It was.
Well, to put it in terms that I think, that I certainly understand, that Matt, I'm sure, would understand as well. It's like in Dungeons and Dragons. The thing you make something tougher is you give it more hit points. Mm-hmm. You know, you're still basically doing the same thing. Like, your fighter character's still going to walk up. I hit it with my sword. Except now my sword gives me an additional 2 to damage, and I have this ability that gives me a little bit more damage and stuff like. And then the monsters just get more and more hit points, and they in turn do more and more damage, kind of thing. So it's basically that same progression that your character should, in theory, still be struggling with encounters from first level all the way through to 20th level. It's just the focus of struggles are going to differ.
Yeah.
And there was another weird thing with this game. Was that once you would slowly lose your health, and by losing health, you would lose armor that's on your body. Okay. So it was like a visible thing. There was no like hit point bar. There was no health
neat.
bar or anything.
I like those
it was pretty
features,
cool, yeah. So when you go around to collect your health back, you would just gain pieces of your armor. Like you get your shoes, you get your pants, you get your shirt.
Drop my breastplate. Better put it back on. There you go.
That was essentially what it was.
By any chance in this game playing scantily clad young women?
No, it was a guy.
Okay, good. I was just getting a little bit skeeved out there.
And he was
because it would be fan servicey grossness.
It was he was completely fully clothed, and it was a biblical game.
Okay. Well, that's another thing. I was like, why is this happening in a biblical game? But again, it's the anime nonsense. You play a lot of anime games,
this is also true.
That is something.
Speaking of fan service nonsense.
Oh no.
Matt and I were talking about fan service at work the other day, and I asked him. Matt brought up The Witcher.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, you perv, getting on all those sex scenes and stuff." And he said, "Nah, there's only like 3. I mean, it's not that 3 in like a 80-hour game or something."
Well, no, there's 3 possible people you can have sex with in that game, once each. And if 2 of them, if you sleep with both of them, you get the bad ending. And also, it's
that sounds like a high 5 ending.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the worst ending involves both you and the character you see as your daughter dying. But
dark.
Yeah.
Also, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Jesus.
There's a lot of endings.
Good thing I don't care about The Witcher.
I haven't played it yet. Shit.
That's unfortunate.
Again, that's only if you do the worst ending. Again, it's an RPG, so there's a huge variety of endings you can get.
Okay, moving on.
But yeah, the game's been out for like over a year, like 2 years.
I know.
Now.
I shouldn't get too mad about it. I know.
Fuck you and your spoiler culture bullshit. It's one thing like if I were to spoil, I haven't seen it, but if I were to spoil Wonder Woman, I get it. People would be angry about that.
I'm going to see it tonight.
Awesome, but
I'm a spoil it.
See, I actually don't care about spoilers. Like spoiler culture genuinely does bother me because it's like you're expecting people not to talk about things because you haven't seen it. And again, I understand when it's something recent, but say a 2-year-old game or
like
Bioshock.
Like talking about Fallout 4.
Yeah.
You know, it's been out for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Actually, probably about 3 years at this point. So, yes, I know. I'm just...
I know, there's a lot of games that I don't play.
I was still talking about fan service, Miki. This was leading into something.
Look, we can get there. Trust me. I can lead into that.
Okay. All right.
So there's a lot of games that I would have never played had no one suggested them to me. And actually one of them, it's called Nekopara.
I've heard
it's
of it.
on Steam. The new one just came out. It was a little while ago. But it came out. And it's the most fan service game I've seen.
I was going to say, I don't trust any game that starts with the Japanese word for cat. So,
yeah, there's cat girls.
Yeah.
They're great. They're adorable. I love them.
Yeah. That's why there was that look on my face, DJ. I knew what was coming up. I knew I haven't heard of the game, but I knew what was about to be said.
Christmas.
I've actually been spending like the last week or so making a cosplay from this game for one of the characters that I like. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Miki, you're a furry? What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with furries?
Furries are...
nerds say that they're weird.
Yeah. That's true. Sorry to any furries out there.
Well, I mean, you do you.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think it's fucking weird.
Yeah. I don't understand the appeal of adding animal characteristics to women. I like women.
I do.
You don't need to add animal characteristics to them.
I think we're shaming Miki right now. I think we're totally shaming her right now.
There are people out there that are into way, way worse stuff. That's just a little bit weird in my opinion. Like, do whatever you want. It doesn't involve me. So...
I like my cat girls. I don't care.
Yeah.
All right. You do you, girl. You do you. But circling back to the fan service, which I can't help but feel as though that game is. Oh yeah, fair enough.
Echo Park?
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's 100% fan
100%
service.
fan service. Okay.
It's the kind of reason I got away from anime.
That's the reason why I stayed.
Yeah, go figure.
Oh well, I mean, there are shows that certainly cater to that.
Yeah.
One that I can think of is Scrubs. I don't know if either of you have seen Scrubs.
Yeah.
I've
But
seen scenes.
they had 7 seasons. I think it was seven solid seasons. Oh no, it was 8 or 9. 2000 to 2009.
How many seasons?
I'm sorry. I think it ran from 2000 to 2009, so about 9 seasons, and they were fantastic. They were perfect, and when they ended, it was an amazing ending.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of any way better to end it. Like the season was supposed to end. But then they came back with half of a 10th season, which was basically just to ride off that popularity. Oh, pardon me. To ride off the popularity of the show, because it was very well written. It was a very well done show.
Yeah.
But then they came back with the Scrubs university years or something like that, or university days, where all the characters you knew and loved were all teachers. And some of the characters didn't even return. Or if they did, it was only for a couple episodes. Yeah. And sure, it was funny, and I liked the new dynamics of the new characters that were in there, but the show was done.
Yeah.
Just let it die.
Yeah.
And then we have shows like Firefly that can't even get more than 1 season because Fox is terrible.
Yeah.
Well, we also have Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, all those shows that have like way too many seasons. Yes, I mean, even Adventure Time has too many seasons.
We could argue
like
that maybe Family Guy and American Dad might be going too far, but I mean, The Simpsons, I've always had a soft spot for. I mean, South Park. I hope that so long as Trey Parker and Matt Stone stay passionate, that they make it until the day they die, because when it first came out, I was too young to really appreciate the actual messages that were being said by these fourth grade potty mouth little fuckers. Yeah. And now that I'm older and my girlfriend started, it was something that she just watched in the background. Like, we're going to eat something, let's watch an episode of South Park. We're going to just hang out for a little bit, let's put on an episode of South Park. We had some time to kill, South Park. So I started watching it, like the odd episodes out of random seasons and whatnot. And I started to get, it's like, oh, that was a joke on this thing that George Bush did way back in blah, blah. Oh, this is a joke on when all the tabloids were calling Tom Cruise gay. Yeah. This is a joke for all that stuff. And yes, there's potty mouth, the poop jokes, and all that other stuff. But I still found it to be very, I don't want to say motivating, but captivating. I was very much so captivated by the writing styles and the comedy styles of these guys, of these two men, who I think are very, very smart.
Yeah. Well, the thing with South Park, at least the way that I see it, is that with South Park, you still have like up and down in terms of quality of seasons, but they're generally still pretty good. Yeah. With The Simpsons, it seems like it's just been kind of a long, slow decline in quality. Well,
there were peaks and valleys even in the beginning. Yeah. But now there was 1 or 2 seasons of just pure gold. But then since then, it's been basically just a valley. Yeah. It's been, as you said, it's been on that steady decline, and there hasn't been a peak. From what I can see, there's no peak on the horizon, unfortunately. And
I mean, to be fair, I haven't watched The Simpsons for a long time. Like it's probably been a decade or more since I followed Simpsons anywhere near regularly. So maybe they've had good seasons, but I remember just as I was getting older, I was laughing less and less, and I'd go back and watch episodes, and I was like, they're not quite where I didn't find them that good. But with South Park, I'm still not I don't follow South Park super closely. I'll watch a couple episodes every once in a while, and then I'll leave it be, and then I'll come back to it and leave it be, whatever. I probably haven't watched all of an entire season. But yeah, it's just The Simpsons and particularly Family Guy. I tried to get back into Family Guy recently, and I couldn't. I don't care. Maybe it's just not aimed at people like me.
Here's something that I noticed. I was watching on Netflix. I started rewatching Family Guy because, again, my girlfriend, she watches Family Guy, American Dad, Futurama. God, yeah. That show hits you right in the feels sometimes.
Okay, I didn't like most of these adult cartoons, if you'd call them, Family Guy, Simpsons, American Dad, South Park. Didn't like any of them, honestly. Futurama, loved Futurama.
Yeah.
It was so different.
So good.
It was so different.
It was great.
It was great. When I heard that it ended, I was like, so disappointed for some reason, even though it had been a long time since I actually watched an episode. But it actually almost compelled me to go on the internet and find episodes to rewatch the series.
Well, after it was renewed, after having been canceled, I think you can still find a lot of those episodes. Like, there's a couple seasons on Netflix.
Netflix doesn't have any of the early ones. Yeah. It has the middle ones and one or two away from the end. Season 6, by the way, is all movies lengths. It's 4 or 5 90-minute long movies, basically, for Futurama. Yeah, which is pretty neat. But what I was initially going to lead into here is the Family Guy. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but like I said to girlfriend, I started watching from the beginning. But right around season 10 or 11, they started dropping F-bombs.
Yeah.
They did. It was just, first episode, Peter walks in and he's like, "How the fuck are ya?" Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit, what the hell is going on, Seth MacFarlane? When did you start swearing and stuff? I mean, and they just seemingly just stop giving a shit because I think this is, coming in the wake of, again, them being canceled, brought back, canceled, brought back. He's just thinking, well, you can't stop me now. Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? But I remember my mom, no, can't watch this stuff when I was really little. And my dad said, come on, let's go watch The Simpsons. Let's go. I like it. Let's go.
I got banned from watching The Simpsons for a while after the episode where Bart says bastard about Homer's brother.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to watch most of those cartoons, but at the same time, my mom also said that I wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob because it was too adult.
Wow.
But I still watched SpongeBob when she wasn't paying attention. But
I don't watch SpongeBob, but aren't the adult jokes in SpongeBob designed to go over the head of children? Yes. And fairly clearly designed that way?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, it's like Pixar movies.
Yeah.
You know, that the jokes there can be both appreciated by adults and children.
Yeah.
Which is why I will go and watch a Pixar movie. I have no qualms with that because I know I will enjoy it.
Yeah.
I remember watching Inside Out a while ago with my boyfriend, and I thought it was great, and then he was almost crying at some points because it just hit so close to home for him, and he was like, "Oh man, this was so sad," and I was like, "That was kind of good, but I didn't really think it was like that," He was wiping away tears.
Oh man, that's Toy Story for me. Yeah. I can't handle Toy Story. It hits me right in the feels.
Toy Story 3 or just any Toy Story?
I actually haven't seen Toy Story 3.
Okay, because that's the one I hear.
And that's the one that really hits. But Toy Story in general, I love that franchise. I love, I grew up watching it constantly with my brothers. It's just a lot of nostalgia right there for me. A lot of nostalgia.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think I really have any movies that really hit me emotionally.
No, I don't think so either. I don't remember ever crying at a movie. Maybe.
Oh wow!
I've cried at movies.
I'm heartless.
But it doesn't I can't watch it a second time and still be hit by it.
Oh no, I totally can. I'm just trying to think of what movie can just kill me Guardians of the Galaxy.
What?
Every time I watch it, I'm fighting back tears.
Oh my god!
At the end, with Groot when he sacrifices himself, I'm just like, oh my god, no, Groot! Why?
I guess I'm just heartless. That didn't come close. I was like, look, they're trying to make you think Groot's dying. He's not dying.
Well, no, he's not. But that still did me in.
He's a plant. Just repawn him.
Come on, guys. We need our Groot. Come on. Anyway, that hurt.
I'm heartless.
Sorry.
I'm sure I've cried reading books before.
I'm in touch with my emotion.
Oh, I've cried for a lot of anime.
Oh, really?
But just the movies, they just don't really get me. There was one movie that I saw. I don't even remember what it was. I saw it in theaters. And I was trying so hard not to cry. I don't even remember what it was anymore.
Yeah. Well, just so people don't think I'm completely heartless, it's not hard to make me cry if it's in the right setting, like books.
Yeah, just watch as I make the punching emotion.
It's an audio-only podcast, DJ. That doesn't work. But there's books. I don't know if anyone reads R.A. Salvatore. I know these two don't because they don't read books.
What? I read books.
I thought you said you don't read books.
Is he not the guy who created Drizzt?
Yep, or Drist, or however you say his name. It's
Drizzt.
I heard the author call him Drist. So
yeah, and the guy that created GIFs say it GIF, but that's wrong.
Oh, so wrong. It's not peanut butter, people. Get over it.
It doesn't matter how you pronounce things, but generally I'll go by...
Clearly, it does.
You just pointed it out, so it matters.
Well, I'm just saying that I said Drist and he said Drizzt, and I was like, well, the author's right this way.
Anyway, so he's in the Forgotten Realms.
Yeah. But there's one book that was, I was going to say recently, but it's the last one I read, where some of the characters die. He changed over the cast, and there's one book where 2 of the characters die, and that got me. That got me good.
Dragonlance.
Oh, yeah?
You read Dragonlance?
I've read some of Dragonlance, not all of it.
Have you read the main books? Like the starting off at Autumn, Twilight, or Dawn or something?
It was when I was in junior high, I don't remember.
Okay, did you read Dragonlance at all?
Nope.
Okay, second book in, they kill off Sturm, the character, and I cried so hard when that happened. It hurts so bad. Anybody who's listened or has read Dragonlance will agree with me. And another one that hit me is at the very end of the main trilogy, not trilogy, Jesus Christ, the main book series that it's all centered around, when the Kender Tasselhoff goes off, and once he passes away, that at the end of that book, that killed me too. I get very connected to characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I think the only reason it hit me so hard is because I'd been reading these books since junior high, and then they killed off 2 of the characters that have been around since before I started reading, and I was like, argh!
Yeah.
But I was also like 20 years old when that happened, so, you know.
Emotions can affect you at any age, Matt.
I'm aware, but I'm just saying, it's not like I was early in high school and they killed off my favorite characters and I started bawling. I was just like, you know.
No, actually, my first time reading through Dragonlance was in high school.
Yeah.
And even, like, talking about it with another friend of mine who read through the series, we're just like, why'd they have to die?
Yeah. No, I know I've read other books where people died, but it doesn't stick with me. I'm just like, all right, that character's no longer in the books. They're dead. Continuing on.
The Artemis Fowl series, I was beyond obsessed with that.
Oh, yeah.
Through, like...
What's that about?
Middle school and high school. It's about this boy genius. He's like 12, 13, I don't know. He's in his early teens at most. And he's the son of a major criminal who vanishes, so he takes his place and becomes a major criminal at
12 years old.
Yeah, at a really young age.
Okay,
and he's extremely successful. And he... It's a fantasy book. I'll just say that first. He runs into fairies because they exist in this world. And
Miki, oh no, that's a terrible joke. I'm not going to make it. Continue.
Oh no, DJ.
Okay.
Oh no.
You're trying to make fun of my height.
No.
No, I was no. It's terrible.
Just think about what you were just talking about and what joke might be made.
I don't even want to think about it if it's that bad.
Okay.
Anyways.
No, it's not that bad. People can just really take it as offensive.
Yeah.
And I support anybody's life choices. My youngest brother is gay, and I love him dearly.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do people call them fairies?
Yeah, the very effeminate
men are referred to as such. Yes.
Yeah. Huh.
Yes.
Have
you never heard that before?
I don't think I have.
100% been used
I don't know
as
how
an
I
insult,
haven't,
but that was just a poor taste joke that I was going to make, and I held off on that.
Okay, well, he meets people with wings. And, like, gnomes and all those weird things. And he captures one of them hostage, and then he somehow, after capturing one of them hostage, becomes friends with all of them.
I thought you said he was going to become friends with that one that he captured.
He specifically that one.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
they
that's
become
called
great
Stockholm
friends.
Syndrome.
Yeah.
Well, he gives her back.
Oh, how
she's
kind.
Free.
Yeah,
She's a free fairy, but they kill out characters through the whole thing. In the 4th book, there's this one character. He's a supporting character. He's pretty good. And at one point, he just randomly dies, and I was like...
What, he trips over the curb and hit by a car?
Funny enough, I think he was always an angry person. They called him Beetroot because his name was Root, Commander Root, and he was always red because he was angry.
So Beetroot.
So Beetroot.
Yeah.
And I think he died of a heart attack or something like that because he was always just so angry. But it was just like kind of a very sudden thing that happened, especially being a young person reading these and not like even knowing what a heart attack is probably.
How young were you?
I was just sheltered.
Okay, yeah. No, I used
My
to...
mom wouldn't let me watch SpongeBob.
Right. Very, very good point. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I used to watch a lot of Discovery things and watch animals kill each other for food.
Yeah, later on, after my parents got a divorce, I was then allowed to watch SpongeBob and like the Discovery Channel and Mythbusters and all these great things. But yeah, my mom still doesn't like me watching things like SpongeBob. It's hilarious.
That's weird. That's really weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I just ignore her.
I mean, I'm not one to judge. You know, maybe your mom's just trying to shelter you, protect you at the ripe old age of adult. My mom still calls me her baby. And, you know, it's been a while since I've been in that position. So, but no, she says always.
That's just mothers being mothers.
Yeah.
However, being like, don't watch SpongeBob when they're older than 4. And even then, I don't watch SpongeBob, so I don't know what's in it that could be inappropriate for a 4-year-old. But
I don't know, man. There's just like a lot of bright colors and loud noises.
yeah.
Like,
What is wrong with the pineapple under the sea?
Why
That's
is
the
there a
opening of the title.
pineapple?
Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. So we're not going to sing it. Fine. Okay.
No.
All right.
No,
there
we're
goes
not.
that idea.
I
Jeez.
can't sing.
You don't
No,
have to.
you don't wanna
You
do
don't
that.
have to be good at it. It's fine. You don't have to be good at singing to do it, dude. Trust me, there are plenty of people out there that are not good at singing and yet continue to do it.
Oh, I know.
Many a karaoke nights. Actually, that's something that my family does when we get together. My mom's side of the family. My grandfather is a very talented singer. He sings Elvis like it's nobody's business. He's fantastic. I actually remember, God, it must have been a decade ago. We were getting together. I don't think it was my grandparents' wedding anniversary, but I think it was close to the time. Either way, so we're getting ready to get set up for karaoke. Again, it's just the thing that we do. I wasn't able to drink at the time. I distinctly remember not having anything to drink, so it was, more than 10 years ago. And my grandfather, he always likes to lead off. He always likes to go first. And so we're sitting in the shed, and it's everybody's facing the opposite way from where it connected to the house. And so we're all sitting there waiting, chit-chatting, and then my grandfather comes in through the back, and he walks up through the middle dressed as Elvis.
Of course.
And sure enough, he does 4 or 5 songs, Elvis songs, and I'm not going to say that. That's too personal for my family. And I just remember thinking, my God, this is a talented man. Very talented singer. He's 76, I think, and he still can belt it. He truly had a talent. It is. It really is, yeah. It's really is. I can't sing worth shit. No. Both my parents can. Both my parents are musically inclined, but not me.
I've got no ability to sing whatsoever. I don't even... I will sit quietly at a karaoke and be boring because I can't stand the idea of having to sing in front of people.
I gotta sing talk. You just get drunk enough, dude. Trust
me.
That's
true. I used to play Rock Band, but at least that was a game, and I could be like, look how terrible I am.
Yeah. Well,
but
that's
just
exactly
sitting there to
right?
sing, couldn't do it.
I'd have to say I like singing. I like the idea of it. It's fun, but I know for a fact that I'm tone deaf.
Yeah.
So I don't do it in front of people.
Oh yeah. My mother played. My mother played
embarrassing.
piano, and she would be playing different notes. So she's like, "Oh, that one's off," and I said, "I tell you, that didn't sound off to me." She's like, "Really? Can you tell me the difference between this one and this one?" No. How about this one and this one? Kind of.
Okay, I'm not that bad, but
No, yeah, I was really, especially I was in band too, right?
Yeah.
I played the trombone. I was.
You played trombone?
Yeah,
I played trombone.
Well, that's because we're tall and we have long arms, so we can work the slide.
so that means all 3 of us play brass then.
Yeah, I was terrible.
Trumpet?
I never practiced.
Nope.
Baritone?
Just guess. Just
Tuba.
guess. Just guess.
Tuba?
No, not the tuba.
French horn.
No.
What other brass is there? So we got trumpet, trombone, tuba, French horn,
The
baritone.
Yep.
Yeah, I said
Really?
The baritone. Like when they came to my school to show everybody all the instruments and get everybody to try them, because you don't get to pick which one you play.
Right.
They pick for you.
Yes.
I tried almost all of them except for the wind instruments because all of the girls from my class were surrounding them. And I was like, I don't really care about the flute or the clarinet, so I'll just not bother with those. And I swear to God, I tried like 6 or 7 different instruments. And of course, they had to give me the biggest one. Mind you, it probably weighed about as much as I did at the time.
Well, you know my brother Alex.
Yeah.
He played the tuba.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Oh.
My twin brother played the baritone, like Miki. So.
Well, talking about how all of us blow, I think now's a good time for us to end. So this has been DJ making my return.
Matthew.
And Miki.
Have a good one, everyone.